Assault Mode, Red Dragon Archfiend. Yeah, Assault Mode hasn't been good in a long time, but whatever, I'm doing it now. First I'll start off with 3 copies of Soul Resonator. Three copies of Soul Resonator. I'll do 2 copies of Crimson, 2 copies of Synchron, and then 1 copy of the Vision. You can run more copies of Vision. I wouldn't go to 3. I'd stick at 2 if you were to add more, but you don't really have to. Now for the extenders, start off with the 3 Bone Archfiend. You do 3 Red Sprinters. If you don't have Red Lotus King, if you do have Red Lotus King, I'd probably run that over this because this one you have to control no monsters, but if you do end up getting the Red Sprinter, it can be pretty good. If you want to use Red Sprinter as a starter, I would run more copies of Resonator Command, which I'll show you here in a second. You do the 1 Wild Wind, the 1 Obsessive Loop, and then that's it for the extenders. Now onto the Assault Mode cards. Obviously you have to do 3 Assault Beast, 3 Red Dragon Archfiend Assault Mode. That's it. And I'll explain why you don't run something like Absolute King Backjack or Psy Reflector. With Psy Reflector, it takes up your normal summon, and whenever you play Red Dragon Archfiend, the main card that you're going to normal summon is a Soul Resonator, or if you run it, then your Red Sprinter. You don't want to waste a normal summon on something to where you can go into... You're not going to be able to get into your Red Rising Dragon with Assault Beast and Psy Reflector because you don't have a Theme Tuner. And it's not good to end on a board of Scar Red, which you can't even summon off of a Psy Reflector and Assault Beast. And Red Dragon Archfiend, it's not good for that. You don't want to have an end board that's just Red Dragon Archfiend. It's a terrible idea. So you don't want to run your Psy Reflector. I don't know where these cards are. I'm pretty sure I ended up using them for another deck. But Fire Formation Tenki, so that you can search out your Assault Beast. Also, sorry for the weird angle. I had a different setup last time. I'm not in my room right now. That way you can search out your Assault Beast off of it. Yeah, you don't want to run Psy Reflector, at least in my opinion, because this is more of a Resonator deck as well. Onto the regular Monster Hand traps. You, of course, got your 3 Ash and 1 Droll. You can run more, but this is a 40-card deck, and it's pretty consistent as is. If you go first, you have a killer combo, which ends on several negates or negate and destroy. And if you can get it off, if anything happens to your Archfiend Bane, you can Synchro Summon immediately. So you don't really need to run too many hand traps, but all the other hand traps that I have aren't that great. Off to the archetypal spells now. You do, of course, your 3 Resonator calls. I have switched this from the last deck so I can make room for the Assault Mode cards. Go down to 2 Gaia. It is less engine, but you'll still be able to search it off of the main combo. This is the Resonator command that I was talking about. I only run 1. You can run 2 or 3, which might be nice if you really do want to get into your Red Sprinter. But the problem is you'll have to have one of your oh, this is more than I remember. off of your, actually, well, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, I lied. 8 off your 8 resonators. You will have to get rid of one of those, and you really don't want to get rid of your soul resonator. You'd like to have that in your hand. That's a downside to it, but if you really want your red sprinter, then that's something that you can do. Moving on to your just generic spell cards. I do 1 Burning Soul. You can run more of this, but this is a good, yeah, like it says, a level 8 or higher synchro monster, which you're pretty much guaranteed to have. You can add 1 card from your graveyard, any card, and then after it resolves, you have to synchro summon. But most of the time, if you have a Vision Resonator off of the combo in defense mode on your board, then you will be able to synchro summon, even if it's into another Red Dragon Archfiend Bane. But it's just really good to be able to add any card from your graveyard to your hand. Especially if you need to recycle cards if you're going into a grind game. You can recycle a Red Dragon Archfiend or something like that. A Foolish Burial for the Yuva Loop. This doesn't come up too much. But if you do end up having a turn 2, then you can just summon the Red Dragon Archfiend and a Soul Resonator off the Gaia, and then you can drop the level by sending a Yuva Loop. So it's not needed. You can add another card if you want, like another card for Assault package or something like that again, but I do run it, but it is not necessary at all. And then I run the hand trap called by. This doesn't do too much, but if they hand trap you, you can call by to get rid of it. Doesn't come up too much, but it's nice to have. Going on to the traps now. I have 1 red zone. First turn, you search this. Whenever you get the guy off of the Vision Resonator, if you already have it, most every time, unless you don't have a Soul Resonator and you activate a Gaia before your combo, you will get the red zone, because you can red zone, if I'm not wrong, which take this next part with a grain of salt, you set your red zone and Assault Mode activate during your opponent's turn. You activate Red Zone, and then off of the effect of Red Zone, you can activate Assault Mode Activate. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. And speaking of Assault Mode Activate, you run 2 copies. You can run 3, but you already have your Assault Beast. Also, like some of the other cards, I don't know where the 3rd Assault Mode Activate is, even though I've been looking for it for forever. Like days now, which is why this video has been taking so long. But yeah, you can run 3. I don't. I'm happy with just running the 2, because you don't want Assault Mode Activate in your hand. Actually, no, you do, but you don't. You'd rather have a Soul Resonator than an Assault Mode Activate. You'd rather have one of your starters than an Assault Mode Activate. And Imperm. Obvious, just Imperm. I don't run 3. It's not necessary. Again, if you're going first, you already have negates on the board, especially if you decide to run Dispatter. It's not needed. Going into the extra deck now, I got your standard 3 Red Risings, 2 Scar Red, 2 Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Scarlight. Scarlight is pretty good, because how I use Assault Mode Activate is I use it after you bring Scar Red back off of the Bane. And once Scar Red gets sent, you can bring back a Scarlight. And everything that you should have on the board, or pretty much everything that you normally have on the board, if you don't have if you didn't extend your combo farther on the first turn, nothing will be destroyed off of Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend except your opponent's monsters. Which is really good, because then they can't activate their effects. And against Malice, it gets sent to the graveyard instead of banished, I think. If I'm not wrong. Again, don't quote me on that. Haven't faced Malice much, if at all, because my friends either don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Or they're broke. Most of them don't. But, and then you run the 2 Abyss off of the Burning Soul. If you have a Synchron Resonator, or Red Rising and Crimson Resonator, something like that. No, Red Rising and Soul Resonator, Red Dragon Archfiend, Synchron Resonator. Yeah, I got that right. Then you run the 2 Bane, also for the Burning Soul, or if you need another Beat Stick, or if one gets negated and you can summon another, have that as an effect. You run the Red Nova. You can replace this for Dispatter, but it's pretty good because it's a slightly weaker version of the next card and the final card, Red Supernova. But Red Nova, you're not always going to have 3 tuners to be able to go into your Red Supernova, and you can still banish this card to once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can target the attacking monster, banish this card, and if you do, negate it. So it is weaker than this, which, when your opponent's monster effect is activated, so you would rather have a Red Supernova, but that also requires a slightly weaker board and slightly less monsters on the board than the mainline combo, which is pretty much the same as the first video I put out and the first test hand video. So, it's slightly weaker, but it's also a guaranteed, if you only have 3 tuners in your graveyard, which you probably won't, it's a guaranteed $15. Sorry for that pause. 5,500 attack monster that can't be destroyed by card effects. Yeah, it can't be destroyed by card effects. Hard to destroy by battle unless they have attack modifiers. And it's a negate. Banish for a negate in the red zone. Can bring that back. So, yeah, this was my Assault Mode Activate deck profile for the post-December 9th ban list. Most everything only comes in the structure deck. So, if you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. Sounding like a real YouTuber. I'm a real boy. Daddy, I'm a real boy. But, if you want to see test hand videos, leave a comment or like it. You know what? If I get to 50 likes, then even if nobody asks for it, I'll put out a test hand video for this deck. Anyways, bye.